Hi guys, how you doing? This is welcome to Contemporary Design Issues G450, and this is welcome to week one. This class is a blast, guys. I'm gonna ask you to think outside your comfort level for the next 5 or 6, the next 6 weeks or so. Let me describe what I mean. At this point in our design careers, we've gone starting out in our 100 some level classes. We probably somewhere along the line we're told that okay, design's not just about making things look cool and awesome. It's about you know concept. It's about building developing this approach to your design solutions that's not only consistent but thoughtful and relevant. So now we're going to ask you to start thinking a little bit broader of a scale and start thinking about how your design work can be sustainable. How can it be relevant in terms of being sustainable by definition of the class? And this is a wonderful, wonderful definition. Sustainability, development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. That's so eloquent. I love that. It's worded just beautifully. So in our design, we have to think about sustainability. How can we make our design more responsible in terms of natural resources, in terms of bandwidth usage, in terms of reaching the widest audience, in terms of being the easiest to find, things like that. Okay, there's another quote in here, and here your textbook. Your textbook takes this concept to another level, and read the textbook. It's cool. It's just the term is it, or the phrase is this: don't eat your seed corn. Don't destroy the forest for a piece of paper. Or, in the words of the famous Frank in Scarface, don't get high on your own supply. Remember that? Same difference. Don't eat your seed corn. You know what I mean? I mean, if you only have so much gasoline, you don't want to blow it out in trying to, I mean, you want to use, if you can use your gasoline to try to find a new source of energy, by all means, perhaps it's probably smart to do that. But if you're using your gasoline so that there's only a limited supply, so tomorrow's generation doesn't have any gasoline for which to use to find another source of energy, you can see how we've kind of screwed the future or eaten our seed corn or, as Frank says, gotten high on our own supply, right? So think about that because it's really super important when we talk about design. Let's look at design thinking. Go through this. It's pretty interesting. And read the book also, guys. Read the book. Really important stuff. And then here's your design thinking too. We talk about human-centered design, okay, and human-centered experience. And this is really important because how is design? Is it user-based design? Is it user-friendly design? Is it how do we look at design? Is it designers designing for designers? Is it designers designing for the general public? And is that how it should be? And I say I question that because now we're finding that the most effective design is consumer-driven design. Meaning, we're going to take Apple's human-centered design and we're going to say, okay, that's a great start, but now we're going to bring John Q. Public into the mix and say, you use the product, you tell us what's wrong with it. And that's really, really important. The story about the mountain bikes. Mountain bikes weren't invented by big companies, by Giant and Trek and Schwinn and Raleigh and the big giant companies. Mountain bikes were invented by those dudes in California that were trying to ride traditional bikes and put motorcycle parts on them to ride the hills in California. And that was the dawn of mountain bikes. It was consumer-centered design. I'm sorry, consumer-driven design. Okay, so what we need to understand is that whatever design is out there, we can make it better, and that's what we're going to do. We're gonna make it better by looking at it, dissecting it, chopping it apart, and saying what can we do better. Think of the Phillips screwdriver, guys. Think of the guy who invented the screwdriver with the flat head in it. Right on. Good invention. Have you ever tried to use one? And I can't believe folks used them for so many years and years and years. You know, one, two, you know, it'd slip out, it'd jam your finger in it. And then somebody looked at the screw and said, no, let's put an extra slot in it so the thing hangs in there. And whoever Phillips designed that Phillips head screw just perfected what many already thought was a perfect idea. Think of the paintbrush and the roller. I mean, using a brush to put paint on a wall is not an efficient idea, folks. How long did they do it before somebody came along and said, I got a better way of doing this, gang? And it was taking a good idea or status quo and improving on it. And that's what I want you guys to think about in your sustainability and in your design work, okay? Assignment 1, assignment 2, assignment 3. Look, you guys, I'm going to get a ton of questions, and I'm going to tell you right now, don't ask me questions until you really just read through this entire thing, okay? Read through this whole program, including all of these sources here, including your book, and go through, where the heck is that? Go through this work right here. Go through this demo and watch this thing and start your own project, and you'll see exactly how it works. And then you have assignment 3, you're sketching your ideas. And folks, by the way, whenever you see the word sketch in design school, it means pencil to paper. So don't be giving me digital sketches. This is a 400 level class, guys. We're not going to be, we're going to do this the right way as a studio setting. And if we don't, then we're going to correct that. Okay, so think about it. That's why I said we're asking. I'm going to ask you a lot of you, because I'm going to ask you to think hard like a designer, like a studio head. And I'm also going to I'm also going to ask you to design like a designer. Okay, right on. Awesome. Welcome. Any questions, comments, concerns? I'm here, and get with me. I'm right here. All right. Thanks.